Melbourne's Port Phillip Bay showed its true colours again on day 3 of Sail Melbourne for 2012. A very strong breeze and an increase in wave size forced officials to put all racing on standby.
So what we're doing now is we're putting all the flags up, which is AP over H, and that's a signal for all boats to stay on shore. And then as the breeze dies down a little bit and we think it's sailable, then we'll release each class one by one. So that gives us a controlled exit to the racetrack.
Once again, it's very windy here on Port Phillip Bay, and southwesterly here with the frontal systems coming through. Breeze is pushing the 30-knot barrier, and the waves are standing up quite high. Although a lot of the competitors would like to be out there going and reaching around, and it comes a question of safety.
Now, if we look out on the water, we can see that we've actually got quite some real surfing conditions in front of the club here. We've got to be very mindful that the sea conditions are appropriate that allows our athletes, the yachties, the ability to sail through the waves. Fortunately, I think the breeze will drop down as the day goes on. The kiteboarding will be going, as we see now, on time, over at the Hampton Beach.
The kiteboarders were the first fleet to hit the water.
With respect to the kiteboards, at the ISAF May meeting, the kiteboards were elected as an Olympic class. But what happened then is it went to the executive, and the executive only require a 50% majority to overturn that decision, and they exercised their power to vote the kiteboards out and vote the RSX boards in.
Of course, it was a bit disappointing when the decision was made that it was not Olympic, but it will have made a bigger hype about the sport, so it would have been pretty good if it had been Olympic, yeah.
Everyone that's competing here is having a great time, and that's really the main thing. We're all out on the water, really enjoying the sport of sailing and the sport of kiteboarding.
I would really like to see the kiteboards continue in our world events, and with the hope of becoming an Olympic class.
At the end of day 2, German rider Florian Gruber was leading the men's gold class fleet.
Today we had a really great racing day, like yesterday. Strong winds and big waves. 3 races today. The first one was for me a really bad one because I crashed with other kiters. But the second and the third one I won, so I'm happy.
The late decision of excluding kiteboarding but including RSX in the Olympics meant a smaller than normal fleet size for the RSX at Sail Melbourne this year.
It's pretty disappointing, but considering the decision with the kite surfing and windsurfing, it's not too bad. With the guys we've had, we've got some good racing done, and yeah, it's been pretty good fun.
Luke Bailey leads the RSX men's fleet, with Patrick Voss second and Sam Trahan third.
It's the sort of conditions that we need a lot of practice in. Europe for the last couple of years has been like this, and yeah, we're just starting to get the knack for it, and it's just so much fun.
Today, the key to winning races was managing the strong winds and waves. Feeling very comfortable amongst the strong winds and bigger waves was West Australian 17-year-old Matthew Wern in the men's lasers.
Can't really believe it, really. To win the first one was a bit of a really good, as I said, confidence booster, but to win all 3, it was just perfect. Being 17 and beating these guys at the top 10 in the world, it's a bit surreal, really.
The 3 wins has put Wern in the overall lead, 3 points ahead of fellow Australian Tom Burton.
Sail in every condition, so kind of used to anything, but him coming from Perth, waves, big breeze, we'll get something different tomorrow, so we'll see how we go.
In the laser radial fleet, 2-time Olympian Crystal Weir kept her perfect scores going with 3 wins.
These are my conditions, I love this stuff, so I had a lot of fun out there, big waves, big westerly, it's always good fun.
Weir is now 3 points clear of Queenslander Ashley Stoddart in second place, with Singapore's Elizabeth Yin in third. Also continuing to post great results was the Australian 470s team, Matt Belcher and Will Ryan.
first time I've actually been anywhere near those conditions together. So, actually pretty happy. Got around the course quite comfortably, and just learned a few things, and it feels good. Pretty hairy.
No, I think it's testing conditions. Like, we're a pretty new crew, so we're just trying to piece it together step by step. So somewhere along the line we're always going to end up with a windy day. So it was good to come through, and we did what we needed to do.
Day 4 at Sail Melbourne delivered calmer conditions for most of the day, with a short window of good wind early, perfect for 49er men and FX classes.
So the FX is using the 49er hull boom and foils, but it's got, I think it's about 2 feet shorter in the rig, so slightly flatter sails, and built for girls instead of heavy guys.
FX in the 29er, first of all, it's got a lot more power in it, and it also is a 49er hull, so it's exact same as the 49er, but it has a smaller rig. On the 29er, the skipper doesn't actually have to trapeze, but on this one they do, so it's a lot more to get used to and coordinate it with everything else, with the main sheet and steering as well.
I imagine there's going to be a whole lot of young boys and girls who are both going to come up through the ranks from 29ers, and it's a nice stepping stone to get to the 49er for the boys, and it's perfect for the girls to keep going with.
Price and Sly ended in 3rd position, behind Tessa Parkinson and Kate Latharis, leaving Alex Maloney and Molly Meach in 1st. A similar wind pattern is predicted for tomorrow, but come the final day of racing, officials are expecting good conditions.